Okay, hi everyone. My name is Darren and I'm the minister at Ravenscourt Baptist Church, and it's nice to be talking to you today. First of all, my apologies for having to wear these dark glasses. I've been having some operations on my eyes recently and I can't see a great deal without them. So I'm sorry if they make me look mysterious, but it's just the way my life is at the moment. I was asked by your teacher to talk about the importance of Moses to the Christian faith from my perspective. And this, in some ways, it's a very important question, but also it's a very easy question to answer because Moses is one of the most important figures in Christian belief. Now, in order to explain to you a little bit, I'm going to refer to a book called the Bible. I have a copy of it here. Bibles come in all shapes and forms and different sizes and slightly different translations and so on. This is one that I was presented with many years ago. And I just want to quote to you a little bit from a book within it called The Gospel of John, which is the story of the life of Jesus. And it says in a section here, the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Now, that emphasizes very much just how important Moses is in understanding who God is within Christian belief. In the Bible, there are two sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. And Moses is a very important person in both of them, but the story of his life is told in the Old Testament. And he is the one who became the leader of the nation of Israel, the nation that is made up of Jewish people when they were slaves in a country called Egypt. Now, Moses went to the leader of Egypt, to the man called Pharaoh, and said that he should let the people of Israel go from their slavery. And when Pharaoh said no, God said that he would send plagues on the land of Egypt until Pharaoh changed his mind. Now, in one of these plagues that affected every family in the land, God said he would protect the people of Israel, particularly, that the plague would pass over the people of Israel without affecting them. And so from that time onwards, the Jewish people have celebrated a festival called Passover, based on what God said on that occasion. I'll come back to that idea in just a moment. Now, also, when eventually Pharaoh did change his mind and let the people go, then Moses was led up a mountain called Sinai in the desert where they were outside of Egypt, as they were headed for the land that God promised them in Canaan. And at the top of the mountain, God gave to Moses the law that was to be the moral and religious law of the people who wanted to follow God. Now, that is what the Gospel of John that I read to you a few moments ago is referring to when it says that the law came through Moses. And again, this law is very important to Christians, and the Old Testament makes up half of what we believe about who God is and how we should practice our faith. And without Moses, in many ways, we would not have that law. Now, so Moses instituted that means he began an ongoing practice of celebrating a Passover meal every year amongst the Jewish people, which has continued to this day. And that is to do with the plagues that I was talking to you about just a few moments ago. Now, it was at such a Passover meal that Jesus was celebrating with his followers and disciples that he was taken and arrested and eventually crucified. And that's why that passage from John says that grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Grace is the thing that comes to us from God when we feel that we have received something we normally would not deserve. And particularly for Christians, that is understood to be forgiveness. Forgiveness for anything that we have done in our lives that is wrong, when we ask God to forgive us and promise to live a different way in future. So Moses is the link that leads us to Jesus, who came many, many years later in the work of God in this world. Now, there's a final reason why I think what you're doing in your class is very important. And that is because God is very, very creative. Christians believe that it is God who created the beautiful things in this world, the flowers and the trees and the earth itself. Now, one of the ways that he has made us is that because he is creative, we too are creative. And the painting that you are studying, that is a sign of someone else's creativity and points back to Moses, hopefully will encourage you to be creative as well. And when you are creative, you are fulfilling, from a Christian point of view, a little bit of what God wants you to be in this life. I hope your class is a good deal of fun, and I thank you for listening to me. Again, my name's Darren. I'm from Ravenscourt Baptist Church, and I'm glad that your teacher asked me to be involved today.